You're watching ABC 57 News in high definition with Keitha Nelson and First Warning neighborhood weather meteorologist Tom Coombs. Good morning, Michiana.
Isolated lake effect snow showers are falling mainly in Kosciuszko County, just to the north of North Webster. And all of this light snow will taper off later this morning. Then some spring-like weather moves in. We are tracking the change of seasons with Forecast Track coming up. Good morning, Michiana. ABC 57 News at 6 continues now.
Welcome to ABC 57 News. I'm Emily Pritchard in for Keitha Nelson. It is 5:59 right now, and this morning we begin with breaking news out of South Bend. Right now, crews are on the scene of a house fire on South Michigan Street, and that's where we find ABC 57's Eric Stelzer this morning with the very latest. Eric.
Emily, your firefighters have been out here really struggling to get this fire out. You can see there behind me here is the active fire. There's a house behind this I&M Heating and Cooling and Appliance store right across the street from the Family Dollar over on Michigan Street. The house back there, we're being told by the battalion chief, is a vacant house over here on Michigan Street. He also does say that the road will be closed for at least 2 to 3 hours. So if you're heading out this morning during your morning commute to work or to school, you're definitely going to avoid Michigan Street today, starting over at Calvert Street. That's where the road's going to be coned off today. Firefighters say they'll be out here trying to battle this fire, then working to get out all the hot spots possible. There's many crews out here this morning. We're going to continue to talk to them and try to get some updates for you and hopefully have that within the next half hour. Reporting live in South Bend, Eric Stelzer, ABC 57 News.
And besides avoiding South Michigan Street, let's head right to ABC 57 First Warning neighborhood meteorologist Monica Ott to see what else we should all be ready for before we head out the door.
Well, Emily, we are watching for some slick spots out on the roads associated with some light lake effect snow. Just because those temperatures are right around freezing, we're watching for some melting and refreezing of that light snow and a couple of icy spots. Right now, though, pretty quiet on ABC 57 First Warning live Doppler radar. We are tracking some light snow in northern Kosciuszko County, just to the south of Syracuse and north of North Webster. And we are tracking that into North Webster, expecting that to be there within the next 3 minutes at 6:04 this morning. But again, most of that snow is on the light side, and the majority of your day is going to be quiet. 33 to start things off in Benton Harbor, 32 in South Bend under cloudy skies, 31 in Knox, and 32 right now in Rochester as well as Warsaw. But it's feeling a little cooler when we factor in the winds. Feels more like the 20s, so you'll certainly still want that winter coat as you head out this morning. We are helping you to plan out your day hour by hour. 9 a.m. still seeing some clouds, 30 degrees, and then back up into the mid-30s by noon, and finally seeing temperatures in the 40s by 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we'll continue to see the warm-up on the way all the way through the Easter weekend. We'll talk about exactly how warm and spring-like it will be coming up in just a few minutes. Emily?
Thanks, Monica. Just about an hour ago, firefighters finally managed to put out a train car on fire in South Bend. That sparked just before 3:30. Check out those flames. It was this morning on Grandview Avenue. ABC 57 News crew were the first to arrive on the scene. Here's video you can see of those flames taken around 4:15. Now at this hour, the track maintenance crew is on the way to the scene to investigate any issues. And breaking overnight, medics rush a truck driver to Memorial Hospital after a rollover crash on the toll road. It happened just before 12:30 this morning in LaPorte County near mile marker 54. There you can see the video from the scene. This was taken around 1:15 this morning. Officers tell us the driver went over the median, overcorrected, then crossed 2 traffic lanes, all before flipping there into a ditch. The driver is expected to make a full recovery this morning. New this morning today, the Division of Homeland Security and the National Weather Service are holding a statewide tornado drill right here in Indiana. The first test starts at 10:15 this morning. The second is set for 7:35 tonight. Now, the National Weather Service will also send out tone alerts over NOAA weather radios. Now, if there was an actual threat of severe weather today, that drill would be moved to Thursday. And the university is also staging a tornado warning drill today. The test is part of the school's Operation Stormy Weather. Each of the IU system campuses will have 2 drills, one in the morning, one at night. Now, the alerts will be run through the school's emergency notification system called IU Notify. Students and faculty there will be alerted via television, text, email, and other internet updates. Well, as spring storm season comes upon us, we here at ABC 57 News want to make sure you are ready to take on this unpredictable Michiana weather. And ABC 57's Jesse McDonough talks with a battalion chief at South Bend Central Fire Station, all to show us that it's really not a bad idea to have a storm plan already in place.
Chief Buchanan says it's crucial to have a storm safety plan, but you'd be surprised how many folks I talked to today that didn't have one. It's no secret that weather in Indiana is pretty unpredictable.
The typical things in this region is tornadoes, lightning, floods, thunderstorms.
And that's why Battalion Chief Carl Buchanan says it's up to you to be proactive and have a storm safety plan already in place.
Sometimes you're not going to be able to prevent it, so you need to plan ahead.
But when I asked folks in South Bend if they had a storm safety plan, it became clear most people are pretty unprepared.
How important do you think it is for people to have storm plans or evacuation plans in place, especially if they have kids?
I would say that it's really important. I think we just dropped the ball, I think.
I do not.
I'm really not very prepared. I feel like I should go home and do something.
All of the people I talked to did know to seek shelter in a severe storm.
We would go to our basement.
Probably just go down to the basement.
Head to the basement.
However, Chief Buchanan has a few more tips to build your own personalized plan of action.
Have an emergency kit available, blankets, phone numbers, medical information, battery-operated lantern.
The chief also says it's important to have non-perishable food items and bottles of water at all times because you never know when a natural disaster may hit. Reporting in South Bend, Jesse McDonough, ABC 57 News.
Well, it's day 2 in the historic struggle for gay rights before the Supreme Court. Today's case is brought on by an 83-year-old woman who was denied the benefits of marriage following a partnership of 42 years. The 1996 Defense of Marriage Act limits federal tax and entitlement benefits to heterosexual couples only. And now here's the big question for the justices this morning.
Can the federal government deny to those legally married couples benefits that would be available to heterosexual couples?
Before it can weigh in, the court must decide whether the group defending the law, led by House Republicans, has the authority to make the case. And as the Supreme Court prepares to hear those oral arguments regarding same-sex marriages, local religious leaders are speaking out. We talked with one church leader in Elkhart whose congregation is following the case very closely. And ABC 57's Daryl Bajoris has the story this morning.
The Reverend I spoke with says she's not sure which way the Supreme Court's going to vote, but says America is finally at its tipping point. After decades of struggle, the decision to allow same-sex couples to marry appears closer now than ever before.
We were always aiming for the middle 30%, that 30% are already on your side and 30% are never going to be.
Reverend Amy DeBette can't convince everyone, but she's okay with that.
People are afraid of what they don't know.
She heads up an Elkhart congregation that supports marriage equality for all, regardless of sexual orientation. In the last few days especially, there's been a lot of attention on this issue.
There has finally been a groundswell. This is the tipping point. This is what we needed, because the fact that it's made it all the way to the Supreme Court says that, you know, America is ready to accept this.
Wednesday, the Supreme Court will also hear arguments regarding the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, which defines marriage as between one man and one woman. It's unclear when they'll make a decision on both cases. Reporting in Elkhart County, Daryl Bajoris, ABC 57 News.
New this morning, get ready to rub elbows with the mayor of South Bend. At tonight's meet and greet, Mayor Pete Buttigieg is hosting a Mayor's Night Out event at Monroe Primary Center. Several city department heads will also be on hand to meet with taxpayers about city issues and projects. The event is set from 5:30 to 7 tonight at the school on Don Moyer Avenue. Well, here's an update on the fungal meningitis outbreak. Michigan's Attorney General is now asking for a state investigation. A grand jury would look into if the New England pharmacy linked to that outbreak broke any state laws. The Michigan Court of Appeals will decide whether to appoint a judge to lead the investigation. And here's a look at the very latest outbreak numbers from the CDC. In Michigan, 259 cases have been reported, along with 14 deaths. Indiana reports 84 cases and 11 deaths. A total of 730 cases and 51 deaths have been reported across the entire nation since the outbreak was first reported back in September. Well, right now the time is 6:09, and overnight the Fighting Irish hit the court to take on the Hawkeyes in Iowa City. We've got a close look at all the action, and we'll show you who came out on top. Plus, it's a tough time to be a groundhog. You won't believe how one furry forecaster is dealing with all the heat over all of this spring cold.
And it will be another cold morning at the bus stop as temperatures will remain close to 30 under mostly cloudy skies, but that will change. We are tracking a 20-degree warm-up through the Easter holiday in your exclusive 10-day forecast.